Welcome to the space where reflection meets accountability, where real conversations challenge the way we think, speak, and show up in the world. This is a place for growth, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So take a breath, slow down for a moment, and let's get into today's reflection. If you like this material, please hit the thumbs up. If you think it's valuable and want to hear more information, please subscribe or share with a friend.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Rosie, and thanks for joining me on Elevating Glow. Today, we're diving into something that sits at the core of healthy relationships, both personal and professional. And that's boundaries. Not the harsh, rigid kind, not the keep everyone out kind, but the kind that create clarity, safety, and sustainability in how we show up for others. Because the truth is, without boundaries, even the most well-intentioned relationships can become strained. Now, boundaries are often talked about in a very individualistic way.
Protect your energy. Say no more. Don't overextend yourself.
And yes, all of that matters. But boundaries are also relational. They're not just about what you need. They're about how your needs intersect with someone else's way of understanding the world. And that becomes especially important when working with neurodivergent individuals, including autistic clients. Let me give you an example. Imagine a therapist, coach, or support professional working with an autistic adult client. In an effort to build trust and show support, the professional says something like,
You can reach out anytime if you need help.
Now, in neurotypical communication, that phrase is often understood as a gesture of care, not a literal, unlimited invitation. There's an unspoken layer that says, within reasonable hours, or when appropriate. But for many autistic individuals, communication is processed more literal and more directly. So any time may mean exactly that. Any time. So the client begins sending messages late at night, early in the morning, and multiple times a day. Not out of disrespect, not out of overstepping, but because they are following the rule that was given to them. And here's where the nuance comes in. From the professional's perspective, it may start to feel overwhelming. Maybe even like a boundary is being crossed. But from the client's perspective, they are engaging exactly as they were told was acceptable. There's no shared understanding of the boundary because the boundary was never clearly defined. So what does effective boundary setting look like in this situation? It's not about pulling away or becoming less supportive. It's about becoming more explicit. The professional might say,
I want you to reach out when you feel you need support. That's important. I respond to messages between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. If you send something outside these hours, I'll get back to you the next business day.
Notice what's happening there. The care is still present, the support is still there, but now the expectation is clear, concrete, and predictable. And for many autistic clients, that clarity doesn't feel restrictive, it feels reassuring. Ambiguity can be stressful. Unspoken rules can be confusing. But clear, defined boundaries, those can actually reduce anxiety and improve the relationship. This example highlights something bigger. Boundaries are not just about limiting behavior. They're about aligning understanding. And when we fail to communicate boundaries clearly, especially in professional settings, we often end up misinterpreting behavior. We might label someone as too demanding or not respectful of limits, when in reality, they're operating within a completely different framework of communication. That's why self-awareness isn't enough. You also need translation. You have to take what feels obvious to you and make it visible to someone else. And this doesn't only apply when working with autistic clients. It applies everywhere. In workplaces, in friendships, and in families. The more we rely on implied expectations, the more room there is for disconnect. Clear boundaries sound like,
"This is when I'm available. This is what I can offer. This is what I'm not able to do."
and importantly, this is how we can work well together, because that's really the goal. Not control, not distance, but mutual understanding. So if there's one takeaway from today, it's this. Unclear boundaries create unnecessary tension, but clear, compassionate boundaries create stability. And sometimes the most important thing you can do for someone isn't to be endlessly available. It's to be consistently clear. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. If you like this material, please hit the thumbs up. If you think it's valuable and want to hear more information, please subscribe or share with a friend. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay aware, stay grounded, and keep growing. Elevate and glow.